Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Machedo is the best.
You know, in my videos, I always give examples of people or situations where you can use the principles in different areas of your life, whether it's business, branding, whether it's a job, whether relationships, whatever. And the lessons or the words of wisdom are pretty timeless. So in this video, I will share with you, I don't know, the exact number. I'll put the number at the top when I make the YouTube video title. I think the 7 or 9 lessons you can learn from this very famous Hall of Famer WWE superstar. WWE stands for World Wrestling Entertainment. Now, I want you to keep the debate aside, whether wrestling was real or fake. That's for another video, okay? But this guy, Hitman Bret Hart, what can you learn from him that you can apply his, the strategies in all these areas: business, money, success, fame, your personal life, love life, whatever. So I'll give you the specific examples. I want you to listen to it and then let me know your thoughts. And if you're a wrestling fan, you will easily understand what I'm trying to say. But if you're not a wrestling fan, just Google search, I'll tell you what, and you'll find out, okay? So let's start. I hope I get the numbers right because I don't have a script. So the first one, when you search Bret the Hitman Hart, and by the way, even though he's retired, he's 66, he's retired now for I think 10 years or more, or 20 years, I don't know, 20. The guy is still remembered, still respected, still venerated by the wrestling community. People still talk about him. People still want to take his advice. So why is it that even the new generation, they still look up to a guy who gave up wrestling 20 years ago? What did he do? Like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, whatever, that is still valid today. So I'll share with you. The first one is, if you Google search Hitman Bret Hart, you will see in the images section of Google, you'll see him wearing pink neon glasses, pink outfit, black and pink. Let me tell you the first shocking thing that you would have never thought of. See, it's obvious pink is a girl's color, right? Only today, in today's day and age, people say, oh, pink is unisex and you can wear pink. And those days, pink was only for girls, like Barbie dolls. And even today, when you have, like my daughter, she likes everything pink. I don't know how, by default. I never told her, my wife never told her, she likes pink. Likes pink outfits, she likes pinks, dolls, she likes pink, everything. Okay? Even if there's a toy, she prefers the color pink. So Hitman Bret Hart, when he, every wrestler has a persona. They put on an image, like Undertaker is the dead man, Hulk Hogan is, yellow, he gets the power. Undertaker is black and purple. Ultimate Warrior is colorful. These are very famous wrestlers of the bygone era. So Hitman Bret Hart chose the color pink, which nobody thought of, nobody wanted. Him and his the Hart Foundation, they all chose pink. He could have chosen red, but no, he chose pink. So the first one is his brand positioning. He positioned himself so uniquely that he stood out. Now, I tried that in my life, obviously the tattoos and all that, but it's not only just the tattoos. I've done this with my YouTube channel. I've done this with the way my personality is. Only difference is I didn't create a persona. I built on the persona I had. There's a difference between faking it and creating an image versus being the actual person. In my case, this is what I am. When I'm working, strictly professional. When I'm free, relaxed, chill pill. Okay. But remember, you need to stand out. If you want to succeed and survive in today's corporate world, today's competitive arena, you need to stand out. And there is no more competitive, cutthroat landscape than the WWE. Because every wrestler has a different look, style, gimmick, persona, music, outfit, finishing move. So the first one is Bret knew how to stand out in terms of the branding, visual branding, pink. The second one, which really stands out about Hitman Bret Hart, is, once again, if you Google search, his slogan. Wrestling fans would know this. Nobody had a slogan like he did. His slogan was, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever shall be. No other wrestler had a slogan like that. Only he had. And I'll tell you this, that slogan became so anonymous with, became so, like related to him. You could either show the colors or you could say the slogan and automatically you'd know it's Bret the Hitman Hart. Now, in terms of communicating your message or your brand, your slogan really matters. Why do you think companies, corporate companies, invest so much of thought, effort, money? They try to come out with a slogan that stands out. Emirates. Once upon a time, they had Emirates keep discovering. Like there are some luxury credit cards when they say even when the best is not enough, or something like the ultimate. Then you have Apple, which was think different. Nike, just do it. The reason for these slogans is they communicate a message. And you as an individual must have a slogan. Now, obviously, you'll be curious, what's my slogan? And before I tell you my slogan, remember, it is something that you need not communicate to others. But if you do, it should clearly specify that your clear purpose is there. See, for me, first I had to discover my brand essence. Essence means what makes you who you are, or what is your style. For me, my essence was the 3 C's. 3 C's. One is controversial, one is charismatic, one is communicative. Controversial, my looks, my views, my personality, my lifestyle. It is controversial. So it fits me very well. So the first one is controversial. The second one is charisma. Charisma is, it's like when you walk into a room, all the heads turn and everyone looks at you. Whether you have tattoos or don't have tattoos, but mostly film actors, celebrities, they tend to do this. Why do you think they wear shocking outfits or retarded combinations or the most hideous colors? Or they want, people to turn their heads and look at them and talk about them. But that is not real charisma. That is temporary or fake charisma, because obviously it doesn't remain. You don't wear those weird outfits forever. Unless, of course, you're a Lady Gaga, or there is this rap, I think Pink or something, his name is, I don't know, Lil Pink or something. He dresses up in girly outfits. Black guy, good rap artist. Okay. Or if I were to take the name of leaders, okay, Putin, when I take the name Putin, you get a different image. Donald Trump, different image. Joe Biden, different image. So you need to have your own signature style that communicates your message. And I'll tell you, that message becomes the cornerstone of your personality, of the way you work. And, when I talk to my clients, They know. For me, I take my work as worship. Worship is God. I don't say this, but I take it in that way. The end crowns the work. That means the final result is what actually matters. So, you know, I have these. Now, you need not have just one. You can have 2, 3 of them. But just make sure that you follow them and you believe them. Okay, so the second one is the slogan. In Hitman Bret Hart, he had the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever shall be. The third one. Now, see, wrestling those days, no? If you observe, in the 80s, they were big, muscular guys. The bigger you were, the more, you know, people would be your fans. That is why Hulk Hogan, he was a towering figure, man. Hulk Hogan. I think you can Google search what are his stats. He was a massive, huge, monstrous, you know, his arms were so big. He was a giant human being here. Andre the Giant. Then all the wrestlers, all the big Earthquake, Demolition, Ultimate Warrior, all were big, steroid up, juiced up, massive guys. Okay. So if you wanted to be a wrestler and wanted to stand out, you have to be bigger, stronger, heavier. So now Bret, the Hitman Hart, he also wanted to be a top-notch wrestler. But he had physical limitations. He couldn't be taller. I mean, you can't adjust your height after a certain age. He couldn't be taller. He couldn't be more muscular than the muscles that could fit on his frame. He had a small body. And he wasn't very strong. So the question is, how would he position himself where competition was only looking at size? He focused on his, you know, this is another slogan of his, excellence in execution. Very catchy term. He focused on being a technical wrestler instead of being the wrestler who, you know, like Hulk smash, where only strength and power, you know, they were not doing all those acrobatic tricks of jumping, twisting up in the air, which you see today. They are mostly acrobatic tricks which are very high risk maneuvers. He focused on the technical side of wrestling. And one of his key techniques was, you know, he was so technical. He could twist your arm in a particular way, or his finishing move was called the sharpshooter, which even a wrestler called, what's his name? Sting. They called it the Scorpion Death Clutch, or Scorpion something. Death Clutch, I think. So he used a finishing move. You Google search this sharpshooter. You twist your legs in between his legs and turn you the other way around and twist your legs. It would be slightly like uncomfortable and painful for the other opponent. And he did this so masterfully, man. And everybody knew the sharpshooter. See the name, sharpshooter. You know, so he knew how to differentiate himself from others with his strengths, his uniqueness. Your work, what you present, should be the same. How did I use this? In my line of work, trainers, coaching, mentoring, if you see the people, they are always guys with suit and tie. They are people with multiple degrees, masters, PhD. They are people who have achieved high degree of success in the corporate world. They are multi-millionaires and they have courses and they'll give you the secrets to success and this and that. I decided I don't want to go in that route. I don't want to wear a suit and tie. I don't want to rah, success and this and that. I didn't want to give the cliche diplomatic bullshit and be politically correct. Work hard, believe in yourself, pray to God and this and that. I said I'll be myself. I'm not going to wear a suit and tie. I'm not going to be goody two shoes. I'm not going to mind my language. I'm not going to encourage everyone. I'll keep it real. I'll not be a pessimist, but I'll keep it real. And where other people were collaborating with others to have all this positive vibe, I chose to work in solitude and alone. So I differentiated myself. So that's the same thing Bret Hart did. That's at number 3. So ask yourself, how can you differentiate yourself? You know, when you say that, oh, everyone, oh, he's rich, he's highly educated, his English is better, he's a godfather, whatever. Okay, number 3. Number 4 about Bret Hart is he played the long game. He didn't play the short game. If you actually study the career of Hitman Bret Hart, he was, you know, he was a very talented wrestler, but in the politics of wrestling that was there, the problem with wrestling those days, even those days, was Vince McMahon, who was the boss, the brains behind wrestling. He would give the audience what the audience wanted. And it may not have been right always, but he would do what he wanted. They always wanted big wrestlers. So Vince McMahon only promoted Hulk Hogan, and even the enemies were big. Yokozuna. You can Google search this guy's name. So he was American, but he was positioned as a Japanese. Then Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, all big guys. And Hitman Bret Hart, whenever he suggested, requested, or anything, Vince McMahon would shoot his idea down. He never allowed him to be the top A-level wrestler, always mid-card. But, you know, Hitman Bret Hart, he could have felt discouraged, he could have given up, he could have left. No. He continued giving his best. He continued, you know, sharpening, like they say, sharpen your axe. He continued focusing on improving his skills. And I'll tell you, you know, if you're persistent, if you're consistent, if you don't give up and you keep improving and becoming better and better and better and better, one day your opportunity will come. And he got his opportunity against, you know, where Hulk Hogan, the trend, people were getting bored of him, and the big guys. He finally gave him a chance. Yes, in between he did stumble. He had roadblocks where Hulk Hogan took his belt again. It was all, you know, planned out. But he became the top guy, and I'll tell you, and this is a big one. He got an annual salary those days, which was the highest ever in the history of wrestling. I think it was around 3 million a year. Obviously, unfortunately, Vince McMahon didn't honor that contract later on. But 3 million to keep a guy that also was not big, who's not big sized and big strength. 3 million. The highest among all wrestlers, where most of the wrestlers were getting 50,000 or 1,000 to wrestle. Or just imagine, where is 1,000, where is 50,000, where is 500,000, where is 3 million? And he also had guaranteed pay and guaranteed benefits. So he was consistent. That's, I think, point number 4. So if you are not achieving your results at the moment, but you're doing something that is truly worthwhile, but is unfair, don't give up. See, how many times when I post my videos, I post all kinds of videos. There are videos that average of 1,000 views. And then there are those videos who don't average at all. Like I posted one about UFC. Now I know for a fact, if I upload a UFC video, I know for a fact, I'll not get more than maybe 100 views, or it will not go beyond 200, very rarely. Yet, I upload them. And just FYI, the Mind Games video that I put about the UFC, this thing, just the editing, where normal editing means just exporting the video after the effects would take, it will take around 15 minutes, and then export. Export means publish it and upload it. This video, because I went frame by frame, took me 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours instead of 15 minutes. Even though I knew for a fact this would not get views. So why did I do it? One is I did it because I make these videos for me. I make it as if I would like to listen to it. So it has to be genuinely filled with value. Okay, so that is my core principle. Whether it's commercial or not, that's secondary. The second one is, I do it because I sincerely believe that it gives value. For anyone who would actually watch that video, whether he was a fighting fan or not, he would learn a lot. Because I charge my clients a shitload of money, and this advice I'm giving for free. So someone who's thirsty for knowledge, he will watch that. So in the same way with Bret Hart now, he knew his wrestling skills that he was offering, his entertainment value was really worth it. But Vince McMahon didn't see that way. But he didn't let this discourage him. He kept learning new skills, new techniques, new this thing, and constantly put on a great show. Until, I'll tell you, one day the public just went crazy for him. Okay? That is point number, I think 4 or 5, whatever. Next point number 5. See, most of the wrestlers, they make the mistake of not capitalizing on their brand. Now, he being a wrestler, he not only focused on, being liked, he was busy selling merchandise. You know, the pink glasses which he wears, the pink outfits, the jacket that he used to wear, the shoes that he used to wear, his photograph on shirts. Now, obviously, you'll say, like, Loy, you're not doing that. For me, merchandising is a totally different challenge. It's not meant for me. But I commercialize my brand. The point I was trying to make is you have to commercialize your brand. So how did he commercialize? He commercialized by, constantly selling stuff related to what he was saying and what he was doing. Okay? His photograph and likeness in video games and all that. How do I commercialize my brand? I offer YouTube videos. I offer wisdom. I offer content. I offer genuine feedback for free on YouTube. If I get questions asked in other forums, I answer for free. But if anyone wants one-to-one coaching, that's where I commercialize it. So even you, if you have a skill or you have a talent or you have something of value, and first is give them a taste of what it is, like a free sample piece. Let them taste it, like in terms of cooking or in terms of advice. Give public keynote addresses, speeches, or maybe on your social media, give them worthwhile content. And then when people want your personal and private time or attention, maybe if you're starting off, maybe first time you can do it for free, but second time if they come again, charge them something. Or you can, which I recommend, tell them you want one-to-one, small charge, give them a small charge. And the reason for this is then they'll value you much more. Remember this much, if something is given for free, people just grab onto it, take it and dump it one place, there's no value. But when you pay hard-earned money for something, you value it much more. Okay? So point number 5 is he commercialized his brand, and which is where he made a lot of money in so many other avenues and areas. He would teach people maybe for free in groups, but if you wanted one-to-one, I'm sure he would have charged. Even his advice, even his... And he trained even this wrestler, Edge, who's very famous. You can search him. He trained him. He was Canadian. Okay, and Bret also had his father's school where they would teach wrestling. So number 5, commercialize your brand. Number 6 is, I would say that, you need to stick to your guns and your values. This one you'll normally not hear. See, during Hitman Bret Hart, during the Attitude Era, there's an era in wrestling called Attitude Era where everything was sexualized, whether it was the girls, whether it was the storyline. They would bring girls, and show topless, and they try to make it like adult content, adult entertainment, where most of the wrestlers were ready for anything. They want to make their money, right? And you have to follow orders from the boss. Bret Hart refused to have storylines in relation to his character, because wrestling is not just about 2 guys going in the ring and fighting. It's about saying a story. Good guy versus bad guy, which The Rock, Rock Dwayne Johnson, is currently showing himself as a villain. So you say a story and they are portraying another guy as a hero. Okay. So Vince McMahon tried to convince Bret to take on, a storyline that involved sex or girls, and he refused. It was just against his values. Now, how did I do that in my life? I'm not saying that I was a holy-poly good guy like him, but I followed my values where, let's say, the corporate world. I didn't like the fake corporate world. It was not meant for me. Wearing a suit and tie, acting all decent and acting all nice and calling others, yes sir, no sir, this and that, even though the guy was not good enough. And, covering your eyes and acting like nothing happened. I couldn't do it, yeah. I just couldn't do it. I used to even ask, what is the function of a tie? Why are you bloody wearing a tie? What does it do? Why are you wearing a suit in such heat? If it was cold, I'd understand. So I was a rebel. So I stayed true to my values. But remember, there's a price to pay. Bret the Hitman Hart also paid a price. He was not promoted as much. His, revenue suffered. His stock price suffered. Stock price in terms of the wrestling community. People are willing to pay more money for someone who's willing to go with the trend. Even when cryptocurrency was its boom, I got offered big money. I said no, because I didn't know the product. And, you promote something which you're not aware of, you can get jailed. I have refused to do certain things people have asked. I have refused even some movie contracts, or as a villain, small role. They'll pay some money. They wanted me to start in some big brother, big boss kind of concept. And my job was to be controversial. I said, no, I don't want. Even though money was not great. But they were promising the sun, moon and stars, which I anyway don't fall for. So stick to your values. Whatever they are. Okay? You be true to yourself. That is what matters. But remember, there's a price to pay for it. Okay? And last, if not the least, the final point. I think this is something that people don't think about. Okay? See, Bret, the way he is to prepare, the way he took his craft, he put so much of his heart, his love, his passion, his obsession. Like, for example, you see today's wrestlers, they'll wear a shirt and trouser, or they'll just come out wearing their pajamas or something. They look stupid. But if you see Bret the Hitman Hart, every time he wrestled, he looked like he was in tip-top shape. In fact, I saw one of his documentaries where he said, even to wrap his knees would take 15 to 20 minutes. Wrapping his knees. He said he would wrap and tape his knees, he would wrap and tape his ankles. He said his outfit itself took, like wearing the whole outfit, he said his body was so tight that, but at the same time, flexible enough for him to move. And he's saying the reason being is I made sure that I was protected, the people I was working with was protected. I would not take it lightly. He said everything mattered perfection. In fact, this guy, Roman Reigns, if you actually look at that character, he is another wrestler. He literally, his teeth, look at his teeth, shining white like the Rock. You see his beard every time perfectly kept, his hair. Yes, today maybe he has a fashion, hairstylist or makeup artist or whatever, but you have to pay money for all that. It's not provided for free. Wrestlers are independent contractors. They have to arrange all this. There are people who even have their own chefs to cook for them because they have to eat healthy. They have to be on the road. They have gym trainers who follow them. They have coaches. So he invested so much of his life into his brand. He was so obsessed about it. He loved it so much. He never compromised on it. And whether he was injured, whether he was sick, he always delivered a world-class performance. Every single time. Every single time. If you want to succeed in life, forget being multi-millionaire, billionaire and all that's bullshit. If you really want to stand out among your peers at least, that is a kind of dedication, that is a kind of passion, that is a kind of commitment you need to give. And he did this day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And I'll tell you, that is why he's a legend. He seriously is a legend. And for me, How I use this? I try to do the best of what I can every single day. And believe me, it's hard sometimes. It's very, very hard. It's very tough. It's not easy. It takes a lot out of you sometimes. Sometimes there'll be days of doubts, there'll be days of pain, there'll be days of skepticism, there'll be days of frustration. But you keep at it. You don't give up. And you keep at it until the day you decide, okay, it's time to hang up the gloves or hang up your boots and finished. I'll tell you, to this date, Bret the Hitman Hart is beloved by everybody. He is like those legends, Undertaker, Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan, like all those legends, but he is right at the top. And he's admired in more ways than most others. If you ask me, my top wrestlers, one would always be The Undertaker, then Hitman Bret Hart. These would be the top two, right at the top, yeah. And even Vince McMahon for that matter. Oof. The amount of obsession into work and commitment and sacrifice and singularity of focus and unbelievable. Anyway, these are the 7 lessons that I have actually implemented in my life, which kind of matches with the values of Hitman Bret Hart. I sincerely hope that you got something worthwhile and you would apply these in your life. Obviously, you and I will not be legends like Hitman Bret Hart, but remember, that doesn't matter. Neither does the money. What matters is you are committed to yourself. And eventually, at some point, if you keep that commitment, you will see results. I can guarantee you this. You will see results. You will see improvement. All right? If you like videos like these and you feel this video added value, just let me know. Comment down below so I can make more videos, and I hope that I can give you as much value as you entrust me with your time, attention, and your patience. All right? You guys take care. It's me signing off.